just bring it up to on.
It's basically right there.
Yeah, that's where it sounded good. Cool.
All right.
Yeah. Happened again.
I don't know.
Because you brought it up when we listened to it.
I didn't bring it up that high.
It's not
I
that
definitely. Not sure. That's some sort of a glitch that happened.
Maybe.
Weird.
Very.
All right. Well, we're coming back to the next podcast with a bit of a twist. Listening to the first one, we decided a couple of things. We decided our audio in the first one
Was garbage.
obviously. It was two dudes, one mic. It was a hot doo-doo
Yeah.
in a cup. And
With a heavy wine on the side.
yeah, we had some issues. What we were trying to do, as we explained in the beginning, was kill two birds with one stone, and we were going to give you gameplay and a podcast at the same time, trying to talk, capture good audio. Unfortunately, my PlayStation sounds like a jet.
Zoom, bitches.
Pretty much drowns everything out. So we're going to do it podcast, and then we'll capture some footage of us later, and we'll put the two together through the magic of editing. So we get
Smash cut.
the best of both worlds. All right. Can we have a little intro applause here? Is that possible? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's quiet. It's there.
It's there. So we get a little. Was the thing?
All right.
There we go.
All right. I had all week to think about some things that we could talk about. One of the things I wanted to kind of kick it off with was the way we sometimes end our gaming sessions is a little rough. They, if I can put it politely, enough fucks have been given, and you're all out. You're fresh out of them.
I am done with giving fucks at the end of a fucking game session where we're trying and nothing's happening, and then it's like one last thing kind of tips it over the end, and it's just fuck it, see you later, I'll catch up with you in another day.
That's right. I mean, one way to put it would be we'd be playing, say, maybe Blackout.
Sure.
We're dying within 30 seconds of the game starting. It's a little disappointing, that sort of thing. So maybe at the end of the night you need some sleep, and well, let's just call it what it is. It's rage quitting.
Oh, yeah.
It is rage quitting.
Ragiest of rage quitting.
So what makes you rage quit, Matt?
It's a little bit of the lack of coordination sometimes. It's people not paying attention. It's also expectation. Like you're hoping for something to go a little bit better, and then all of a sudden it just like totally eats shit. And when that happens, it's kind of hard to want to really get yourself involved. So
that's what makes you rage quit.
Yeah.
I can't say other people make me rage quit. They definitely do sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe playing a 5-man or a 6-man or a whatever. Full stacks. And trying to coordinate, and a few weak links in the chain can kind of bring that house of cards tumbling down pretty quick, and you don't feel like you're playing quite at your level.
Up to par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can make me rage quit. Or politely just leave the party all of a sudden.
Yep. I've definitely seen a polite bye.
I'll tell you what makes me rage quit now is whether I'm hardlined in my PlayStation, whether I'm on Wi-Fi, whenever I'm playing, there's just some absolute...
Horseshit?
Yeah, I was going to say bullshit, like what animal of your choice. But absolute bullshit that happens. And all I can explain it as... Yeah, goose shit. That's good. Beaver shit.
Beaver shit. There we go.
Moose shit. Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
So, all I can explain it as, I go to shoot somebody, I'm clearly hitting them. And while I'm hitting them, they're clearly being alerted to being hit by my bullets and turn and look at me and go, don't shoot at me. I'm going to shoot at you. And then they proceed to shoot me and instantly kill me.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
And I can't explain why that happens sometimes, but that's certainly how it feels. And Call of Duty definitely does a great job of making me do that.
You put it perfectly a couple of years ago, though, when we were trying to get back into playing online and so on. And it was the matter of the fact of no matter what, when you play online with any kind of peer-to-peer internet, you're going to run into the internet that is not the same internet as what you have. You can pay the most and get the highest download speed and all the upload and all that bullshit. But the second you run into that one asshole that is running it off of their phone, tethered, and using their hotspot and their 3G connection from God knows where, it's just a hot bag of donkey dicks. And it just ruins your entire involvement in it as well.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, obviously you need people to play against.
Sure.
So you need people to obviously buy the game, pay for internet, pay for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah. A lot more going into it nowadays compared to a few years ago, right?
I would think, I don't know, connection-based matchmaking?
We've seen that before. It didn't turn out too well.
I mean, the few that pay for the best internet don't get to play.
Sure.
Somewhere in the middle maybe gets to play. I don't know if you should.
It's as simple as fuck everybody. Nobody's gonna get a good job or good kind of trial at it, no matter how it plays out.
Correct. And to be honest, I care in some games about it. I care less in others. One thing that kind of annoyed me with Call of Duty was their choice to go to 5-man domination, and then when you have bad connections and that guy controls 20% of the other team and you can't kill him because exactly, you know, it makes it hard to kind of ignore them. When it was an 8v8, if you had one or two bad connections, you could still, you know,
rubber band it.
Yeah, you could just tough it out, but it becomes harder anyway. That kind of stuff makes me rage quit. But that's about
fix that shit.
Seems to be first-person shooters for the most part. I don't remember rage quitting too many times. Assassin's Creed made me rage quit a couple times. Division made me rage quit a couple times.
Yeah, that shit happens though.
Yeah, climb into the dark zone, lose your shit right before you get out. Because your own teammate shoots you.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a real joy when that shit kind of pops off when you're dealing with some random asshole you met on the internet you've been running with for a good half hour, you know, no issues. Then all of a sudden he's just like, I want to be a cunt. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
I just wanted to use that button.
Yeah, we have buttons. That's great.
The one thing I was wondering is friendly fire a thing that should be in games? Or should there be some sort of pushback? Like, what was that mechanic where you get a reflective damage?
I know that there's some games that are out there that run a reflective damage, and usually you got to turn it on. So if you shoot somebody, you take that damage instead of them taking the damage. It's usually in the settings that you'd have to set up and so on with like custom games and so on. It's really all just case by case though when it comes down to that stuff. I'm pretty sure Rainbow had it at one point. I know you can set it up to work for like zombies.
I think I was breathing heavily into my mic there. I think it was closer to my nose than it was to my mouth. I could hear myself breathing.
Well, that's no good. Can't do that.
No, that sounds much better now. All right. Yeah, the idea of something that would give, I don't know, a different mechanic other than...
Splashback.
Yeah, other than either you kill them or...
You kill them, but at a cost.
At a cost, at your own life. Sometimes it's worth it.
Yeah, just make it hurt.
A la snack bar.
Whoa. Boom, bitch. Boom, headshot.
All right. Well, interesting take on that.
Yeah, I don't like raging out. Logging off. I want to say, like, thanks to my buddies for fucking playing with me, for the most part. But like, there's times where it's yeah. Good night, guys.
Yeah, I don't like leaving quiet, but
Shit happens.
sometimes stuff's going on.
Yep.
You just gotta do it.
Cry babies, and you gotta go.
Yeah. Where is a mute microphone button? I don't have one on here. Is that?
I think it just mutes you.
There we go. All right. Well, that's interesting to know. Because if I'm going to cough, I don't want to cough directly into my own microphone
Yeah, that would
and
suck.
blow up my audio. I like to be able to mute it or maybe create another button. All right. Topic number 2. Actually, question number 2.
Yeah, what's up?
Is your beer almost empty?
No. Going strong.
Oh, mine's.
Oh, shit. Are you killing that thing?
Well, it's got a little. I had it with dinner.
Sure.
But cars.
Yeah.
Do we care what car we drive?
I want to say yeah. Like, I do care about what I drive, but at the same time, I'm driving around a random gray sedan, 4-door, with nothing special about it whatsoever. I think, like, if I had the opportunity to have a car that was a little bit more of my personality, or, like, something that I would really wish to drive, yeah, absolutely. I'd be all over that shit.
Right. I feel like some people, it's just a mode of transportation to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And some people care a lot about how they like modify their cars and spend a lot of money on their. I know it can happen. I kind of want to do it to my cars. I want to modify them. I want to make them cool. But realistically, like, I don't really care. I mean, I bought a sports-ish car. So, I mean, it lent itself to modifying it a little bit. There's an aftermarket for modifying it. But really, after doing tint...
What else is there to do?
I changed my fog lights.
Nice.
That's about it.
What else did you do that's not cosmetic?
That's it.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. I put a sticker on it.
Did you put a new air filter in it?
No.
I heard that makes them go faster.
No.
Really?
I put a new engine in it after the old one caught on fire. But that's about it.
That's a different story altogether.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I just purposeful for the most part. I mean, my second vehicle is a pickup truck, which couldn't be more opposite of the sports car thing.
Yep. One gets you to A to B real fast and zippy. The other one gets you A to B while you sit on your fucking couch.
While you tow 12,000 pounds.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Honestly, man, if I had the opportunity, I'd be ripping around in some awesome little WRX, fully kitted out with some random bullshit modifications to it just to make it like extra me or some bullshit like that. But yeah, it's an A to B thing. We don't live in a car culture in the same way as some other guys do, for sure.
Right. The car culture around here is a hot mess. I mean, it's a lot of SUVs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people driving SUVs.
Yeah. If we went 20 minutes towards Toronto, completely different. I bet you it would be a really different kind of scene the second that you were kind of driving around in that area all the time. Different people getting into different stuff there. You might be surprised.
Maybe. We have another topic here that had 5 or 6 little outjuts here. It started with the bigger topic of toys. Like, do we have toys? Is my sports car that toy?
Yeah.
I think it's like a toy.
If it's something that you enjoy, just
so tiny
sitting,
it looks like a toy.
Well, it's a fucking go-kart with a rocket engine in it. It's that simple.
That's
not a rocket engine. But
no, it's definitely a gasoline engine.
It's
but
a gasoline, yeah.
It's turbocharged.
Yeah.
But it gets from point A to point B and puts a smile on my face. That's for sure.
It's a fucking toy.
Yeah.
Same as a boat. Same as an
Boat
ATV.
is like a
Those are
crazy
toys.
luxury for me.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having a boat because I know how much it costs in fuel
It's so
to make a
expensive.
boat go somewhere. And I've visited the friends' cottages
Yep.
who said, yeah, take the Sea-Doos or take the boat and then just put gas in it. That's all you got to do. And then
Yep.
we'd fill it up. We'd drive it to the fucking gas station. We'd go to fill it up,
Oh
and after
my
looking at
God.
like it at about $160, we're like, "What? Stop! Like, I don't. Can we even pay for that?" Then we get
Credit
like,
cards.
yeah. So we get back to drive the boat back to the bay to take out the tubes and stuff, and look down, and it's half empty.
Yep.
Like, what?
Did you even open it up while you were?
Oh yeah, a little
there
bit.
you
Yeah,
go.
a little
Okay,
bit,
okay.
obviously, but yeah, they seem like money pits.
Absolutely. It's all about the maintenance cost. It's all about the fuel consumption.
How often do you use it?
2 months out of the Canadian year,
Yeah,
if you're lucky.
I feel like you get more out of an ATV purchase or a UTV or a whatever.
Yeah, side by side.
Yeah, or a
Yeah.
snowmobile.
Snowmobile? Fuck. If you went up north a little bit more, yeah, you get full amount of usage out of one of those guys a couple of years ago. Nowadays, though, the trails and stuff, they are not nearly as open as much as they used to be.
Excuse me. No, I mean, I grew up in Caledon. There was enough snow there.
Yep.
Probably the bottom edge of the snow belt here. But yeah, it was very weather dependent and probably less so now than it was
Absolutely.
back then. Those are toys, yeah. But what about like
Other toys?
toys? Like, I mean, is a computer a toy?
Sure. You can play games on it. You can do all sorts of different things with it that would be outside of work purposes. Sure, it's a good utility. It's a great thing that'll help you complete a task, but lots of people would totally consider their computer their number one toy. Lots of people spend majority of their day in front of
Well,
these things,
what's
right?
the definition of toy?
I don't know, Wikipedia. What is
Alexa.
the definition?
What's the definition of toy?
The noun toy is usually defined as an object, often a small representation of something familiar, as an animal or person, for children or others to play with, plaything. The verb toy is usually defined as to amuse oneself, play. The adjective toy is usually defined as made or designed for use as a toy.
So if you can play with it, it's a toy.
Yeah. I would say this.
What?
Potentially, as I would say, a toy. Does it serve any other purpose than just to amuse you?
So is it supposed
Like a
to
yo-yo.
be built as something?
Well, it could be a weapon. So maybe it's not a
Yes.
toy, right?
The original yo-yo.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So maybe that's a bad example. But like maybe that other one, that other thing with the cup and the ball,
Yep.
That thing.
The cup and a ball.
the cup and a ball with
Yeah.
the stick on it. That's
Yeah.
like a T.
Sure.
Definitely not a weapon.
No.
So
Very much a toy.
other than amusing yourself, it doesn't serve any other purpose.
Nope.
That's
just
a
meant to
toy.
keep young kids occupied
That's what I mean.
for multiple hours on end at family get-togethers. Give them one of those things. Sit them in the corner. Here you go, Timmy. Play away.
He runs up the stairs and stabs himself with the pointy end of the stick.
Yep. Sounds
Um,
familiar.
Yeah, old-fashioned toys, right? They
Didn't
really had to
give me
make you
tetanus.
tough, right?
It wasn't a good toy.
All right, what was your favorite toy growing up?
Favorite toy growing up? Transformers. Hands down, had to be Transformers. I grew up watching the show, and there was the odd time I'd actually get one of the Transformer toys. And Cheetor from Beast Wars, that motherfucker. I could put him and transform him into his different forms in my sleep, blindfolded, no problem whatsoever. It was amazing. What about you?
Favorite toy? I used to have one of those carpets with like a city on it. I used to like that thing.
Yeah, that thing was balling. I had one too.
I didn't have many expensive toys. When I got older, I didn't. My parents like hit a couple home runs here and there. That's kind of how they were. They're more DHs when it came to the toy department. You know, they just step up
Just
when they
knock
had
one
to and
out,
kind of knock
yeah.
it out of the park. Things like, one Christmas I got a Power Wheels,
Oh yeah.
like one of the original Bigfoot, that blue one.
Nice big wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing was pretty ballin', but our property was pretty rural, and it struggled anywhere, like even on our driveway, a gravel driveway.
The number one memory I have of the big wheel is my grandma's place out in the country. It was a farm, and we would be ripping up and down the driveway on it, and the driveway was just a small gravel slope, and you would see just how fast you could get that thing going for the bottom of it, and you would crank the wheel as quick as you could and see how big of a skid you could do out onto the main country road.
Plastic wheels, right?
Yep.
So,
Those
the,
drift,
the big
the
wheel,
drift racers that they do now, right?
those drift trikes
Yeah.
that they have now. We had the original plastic
Exactly.
big wheel, though. You know, it was yellow. I think it was like a yellow
Yellow and
body.
red.
Let's
Yellow
bring
and red
this
on the
image
body.
up.
Ooh,
Oh, oh.
sorry, technical difficulties. Working on it.
Very loud mechanical there
That's
right
it.
there.
Case in point.
All the primary colors of plastic apparently came in a black flame version at one point.
That might be an updated one, like a brand new 2019.
Well, that
Center.
one in the front there is the one I remember, and I remember you used to be able to ride on the back of it if you were pushing somebody. You could
You could
put
hop
one
on
foot on
kinda.
there, and you'd push him like a skateboard. Get the guy going fast, and then he would crank it and see how many spins he could do.
Oh shit!
There's
Did you have
drift track.
asphalt for that?
Yeah, you needed asphalt because
Okay.
you had plastic wheels,
Yep. Yeah.
so it couldn't flip. There was really no traction. I mean, if you went 1, 2, 3, go, all you'd hear in a race between two people in one of those would be as it's just slipping, trying to gain traction.
Get traction a little bit there.
Yeah, with its plastic wheel.
Yeah. Absolutely a hilarious toy though. I fucking love those things. Still being made for Walmart and shit though. That's cool.
That's kind of funny. You can buy them on
That's
Amazon.
ballin'.
Just don't want one. Make it for adults too. I think I'd be buying a drift trike.
Next toy, 120cc. There you go.
Crazy. Well, as a segue, I mean, the toy thing, the conversation sort of started over the fact that I was thinking about doing model building.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I built a model. And we were talking about, would we do cars? Would we do action figures,
Figures,
Gundams, tanks, airplanes?
Sure,
What would you
sure.
be interested in building? And a couple of things kind of caught my attention. One was like those really cool Lego sets,
Yeah.
the ones that are like the expert level Technica stuff.
The super to scale things.
Really
that are like,
effing expensive, but very
dude,
cool.
I still want a Millennium Falcon.
I know.
Just throwing that out there. If anybody has one and wants to give it to me, Lego
Very-
Millennium Falcon. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool sets. Would be one of those, or try Gundams. But I've
Yeah.
never built one.
Yeah.
And for those that are listening, I have a set. It's a 1 to 144.
1 to
It's
144,
the smaller of the versions, and it's one of the higher detailed versions, so I don't have to paint it.
Yep.
Everything's already colored.
Gotta put some stickers on though.
Gotta put some stickers on it. I don't know anything about punching them out other than like the old model kits I've used.
Snips.
So I went ahead and I bought little modeling snips and some files to make sure I do it properly because I don't want to break it. Because if you break anything,
You're fucked.
you're fucked, right? So,
You can't get replacement parts unless
No.
you buy a new kit.
right. So you're kit bashing at that point, and you're getting creative. I've never built one though, and you have.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It's fun. It's pretty meticulous for the most part. I used to use modeling as a kid to help me kind of manage my anger and stuff like that. So it was very therapeutic. Being able to come into something, have an end goal in mind, and really want to see this thing through and get that kind of basic idea of like some craftsmanship to it to see where it's going to go in the long run. It was really cool to see how it got better. The longer you stood there and like kept going with it. So like to see the legs come together on the base and how like you're like, oh my god, this thing's starting to look like a fucking robot. And then you get the torso mounted to it after a little bit of work and like getting the front of the armor all put together and like throwing his jetpack on and like holy shit, this motherfucker has wings.
For those that don't know, these are like highly posable kind of transformers.
Yeah.
That
Sure.
you have to put together yourself, and you can pose them, but they're fragile.
Not really.
So once they're snapped
they're-
together, they're basically an action figure.
Basically, yeah. Like you could fucking play with these things. Like I did. Pretty sure I did play with these things. I was still that young where action figures were a thing. You fucking pose them and play around with them. He definitely fought Starscream a couple of times in Cheetor. Yeah. He lost. Sorry. But yeah, they're these cool things you can build and superposable, like Mike has said a couple of times. But getting them together, seeing them come from like the really basic, like feet to legs to torso, throwing on the shoulder, like the huge armor pieces and like the chunkiness to them. Really cool. And then you get to put the weapons in their hands.
Yeah, I bought one of those little stands because I realized, and I almost walked away. I didn't realize unless you're going to just stand him up on your like table or desk, you need one of those posable things so that you can actually hold him in any position you want. Like a little, it looks like a robotic platform that's going to grab his nuts.
It's a robotic. it's a Canada arm. Is really what it is.
That's going to hold his nutsack gently, and I guess he has multiple
action
shapes.
Pose.
Yeah, to put him in the
Action
proper
pose
action
number
pose.
1. Action pose number 2.
Awesome.
What about you? Did you ever? This is your first go at it, right? So you haven't painted any of them. You've never tried doing any of that kind of small stuff. So you're going to be swearing a lot.
Well, I don't know necessarily that I'll be swearing a lot. I feel like I could do a good job at this.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially like Lego. You just got to cut out the Lego.
Yeah.
Follow the instructions. I mean, they're there. I mean, I'm not sure if this was in. It was for kids, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
if a fucking kid could do it.
Like I mean, like it's for kids.
I mean, granted, it's probably for a
Sort of?
Japanese kid, but I mean, like
Ooh.
a little bit more complicated, a little more complex than
Like it's
the American toy.
It's yeah. Build your own toys, kids. Like the
Wait,
kit
what does
I
that
got-
stem from? Does that like teach them assembly, like at a young age?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like we're taught how to farm, I guess.
Interesting.
Gotta learn your tools of the trade early.
Well,
But no, like what I built, it was very much for like a teenager. I was building models and stuff that were for adults and teenagers and so on. It wasn't just for kids. I was just a kid doing it because that was the thing for me at the time. So it was interesting to say the least.
right. Oh, I see. I think the playback volume up here is what was tied to
Yeah.
the 100%.
Yep. Probably.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
Does it make you feel better about it?
No, it actually confuses me more.
Yeah.
I guess we'll figure all of this out after the first recording.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're gonna probably call it there for the first little clip. We're gonna re-up. We're gonna get a beverage.
Yeah. Bevy up, guys.
That was a Guinness. That was delicious. I enjoyed that. For those that were wondering
Muffin in
what
a
that
can.
what that sound was, that was me finishing off my drink. We'll be back.